all dairy, which is lactic acid, get off of all meats and proteins, which is uric acid, and get off of all gluten grains, which is carbonic acid. Put her on a raw vegetable and fruit diet, high in fruit. She can eat some vegetables too. Get her off the stimulants. Make sure she's not on the steroids or all these inhalers because it's compacting all the mucus further into her respiratory tracts and her lungs, alveoli, and all of that. Cleanse her lungs, cleanse her whole respiratory system. In order to cleanse the respiratory system, you have to cleanse the mucosa membrane. So she needs mucosa membrane herbs like poke root, blood root, burdock root, dandelion leaf, the Barb's family, things like that. Get her the 3 bitters and the geogenetic therapeutic package level 1 off my site. Go to them doctors and have them doctors wean her off of this suppressive therapy. All they doing is suppressing the mucus further into her respiratory tract, which is going to basically become like cysts and crystals, and crystallized mucus is going to block and start poking holes in the lungs, and then you have a whole nother problem.
Asthma, what should we do about that?
All respiratory issues. Get off all dairy, which is lactic.
So, a lot of people have asthma. 2 of my baby mothers have asthma. I think my daughter got asthma too. But I know a billion people with asthma. I got childhood friends with asthma and everything. Asthma pumps is no good. You already said about mucus, dairy, meat, and stuff like that. All that shit kills us. And I'm sure y'all already know by now, they're never trying to cure us because curing a person is bad for business. So the goal is not to cure you. The goal is to just keep your sickness suppressed, right? So they could keep capitalizing and making money off you. But then if people get addicted to these pills they give them and these medications they give them and these different alternative supplemental treatments that the doctor prescribes for you. But them shits never really work, people. Y'all got to deal with the herbs, the fruits, the veggies. I'm telling y'all got to go pescatarian, fish, fruits, and veggies. Y'all want to keep messing with that meat, and then people going to say, oh, they spray pesticide on the vegetables. You can grow your own vegetables. Then you have farmers, you have organic farmers that still sell good, pure greens and fruits and stuff with no pesticides, no herbicides, none of that. Fish, there's still fish, good fish in the world. There's good fish right here. If you're on the east coast of America, you got to go up to Boston, Vermont, Maine. You got to go up there. Rhode Island, you got to go up, and you'll find a good, pure fish. We ain't seeing fish out the Hudson River, none of that. But it's around, people. You got to look for what you want in life. You know what I'm saying? You got to look for what you want in life. And that was a citation from a brother named Yaki. The brother that y'all just heard, his name was Yaki. Y'all can follow him on Instagram. He got a page called 504 Vegan 2. 504 VEGAN 2. Let's go to the next one.
This is why in our culture as black people, when the boys turn a certain age, the men come and get him and take him away from the mother because she can emotionally manipulate him. But since we don't live in our culture no more, we say what we want to say, do what we want to say. We tear our men down and then wonder why they don't make good husbands and fathers. Mothers destroy sons. His mother can speak to him in certain ways that destroy him in ways that can never be repaired. This is why in our...
So that was from the elder Ayala Van Zandt. You know, she went through a billion transitions in her life. I read her biop before. You know, she was Muslim, Christian. She went through Israelite teachings, Yoruba, all type of different stuff. You know, she was searching, seeking the light, trying to find herself. Well, shout out to the elder Ayala Van Zandt. And Yeah, you know, you got a lot of mothers that raise sons and they try to emasculate their sons and feminize them and stuff like that, and they think they doing a good job, but really you hindering your son. And no woman can ever raise a boy to be a man. That's a man's job. I know a lot of people on Instagram and Facebook, and I got a lot of friends, and they baby they sons, and I can see like they sons is soft, they feminine. Because when I grew up, you know, I was masculated. I was masculine. We had to go outside. We had to fight every day. We played tackle football on concrete with no shoulder pads and no helmets. We played manhunt. We played all type of rough games. Elevator, corners when you go on the elevator and everybody got to pick a corner, and whoever's in the middle, they get plucked out. Niggas that turn the light out in the elevator and go noodles, Royal Rumble, all type of different stuff. But when I grew up, it was rough. I remember a few times falling off the bike, scraping my knees, peeling all my skin back, and adapting to the pain. This would make you a man. This would raise you to be rough. I had uncles and all that, my grandfather. But, yeah, ladies, if the father want to be in that young man life, y'all got to let the father be in his life. I got a son in Baltimore. He's 12 years old. His mom's is the worst. She's the worst. I hope you know, when I was dealing with her many, many years ago, but, you know, she be trying to keep my little guy from me. And I told her, like, let me get him. Let me get him. You got 2 other sons after me by 2 other niggas. Her daughter's like 20 now. I'm like, let me get him. You down in B-More. You originally from Mount Vernon / Yonkers. You living in B-More. You raising him like a Yonkers / B-More nigga. Like, he needs BX. He needs Uptown. He need that swag. He need that energy. You raising him goofy. He's raising, and I ain't saying all B-More niggas is goofy, but it ain't the Bronx and Harlem. And I ain't saying all Yonkers niggas is goofy, but it ain't Bronx and Harlem. She's a Yonkers / Mount Vernon chick. Been living in B-More for the last 10 years. Excuse me. For like the last 10 years, 8 years. You raising my young bull like a goofy. And, you know, she hiding and running and all that, but it is what it is. It'll backfire because when little boys get older, they always search for their father. So, that'll backfire anyway. A lot of women baby their sons, and I can see their sons is going to be Twizzlers. When they grow up, their sons gonna be snuggly little lizards, tropical leopards and all that. But that's another story. But anyway, let me see what this chick talking about.
Let me ask you a question. How much is 1 penny worth? If you said 1 cent, you might be wrong. Actual metal in a penny is worth about 1.7 cents. And a nickel is not worth 5 cents. A nickel is worth almost 8 cents. What does all this mean? This means that in theory, if you had 100,000 pennies, that would be $1,000, right? And if you melted down and sold it for its actual value, which is 1.7, you would actually make $700 just for melting pennies and selling them for what the metal value actually is, not the socially constructed value that we all agree to. Let me ask you a question. How much is 1 penny worth? If you said 1 cent, you might be wrong. Actual metal in a penny is worth about 1.7 cents. And
I don't know this sister, or the sister name is Felicia for the win. That's her name on Instagram, Felicia for the win. Everything spelled the correct form, no ebonics, no underscores, no nothing, all one paragraph. I respect her because she uses critical thinking skills. She know how to think outside the box, right? And I always tell people that in the 80s, I knew a crackhead. He would collect cans, but he would peel the top off of every can. He would peel the top off. and he would fill gallons of water bottles up with the tops from the cans. So he'll turn the cans in and get the 5 cents per can, but he won't turn the tops in on every can. Then one day he turned in like 60 empty water gallons, but filled with all the tops from the cans. So I'm like, yo, what's going on with that, OT? Old timer. He like, all this aluminum is worth money because when you take it to the scrap yard, they're gonna melt the aluminum down. They're gonna sell the aluminum to like a laboratory that melts the aluminum down, and they make some type of material for hospitals. That shit blew my mind, and I knew at a young age, like, oh, OG different, OT different. He thinking out the box. He getting a double bag off, 1 per can. He was tapped in. But, society is brainwashing. People don't indulge in critical thinking skills. People don't like to think out the box. They don't like nothing that's mind challenging. So remember that Sister Felicia for the win. Now we gonna go to the big guy, Big Bobby from the Bronx.
You wanna know what's the saddest part about it? Is they killed Big L in this block. They killed Jam Master Jay in this block. They killed Nipsey Hussle trying to do something good for this hood. 9 times out of 10, they kill you in your own neighborhood because they jealous of you. And we gotta stop being jealous, especially brothers who do what we accuse people not doing. So what happens is these artists, they become successful and they run away from the hood and we never see them again. Now, they might be the smart ones. Because now the ones that stay in there and invest in their community and support black-owned businesses and Latino-owned businesses, they're getting killed there.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you about blacks and Latinos. There's no difference with blacks and Latinos. When you see the same messed up schools, the same hospitals, the biggest power is people power. And if you come together and stop separating the two, you will see that the power in numbers will get us exactly what we need in the hood. Don't fight your brothers and your sisters. We won. No matter how you look at this thing. You want to know what's the saddest part about it?
So,
they killed Big L.
90% of the time, Fat Joe is right. 90% of the time, he's right. And the message at the end is people power and all that. He's 100% right. Blacks and Latinos do go through the same thing. So I agree with Fat Joe at the end of this message. And 90% of the time when Fat Joe kicks something, he keep it 100. What I don't agree with is the beginning when he said Big L was murdered in his own hood. Niggas ain't telling you Big L was into some shit though. It wasn't no innocent murder. Big L was in the street and his brother Lee was in the streets. Niggas was active. Niggas was doing things. And things was happening. Niggas don't tell you Jam Master Jay was in the streets. Jam Master Jay ain't no angel. Niggas was moving drugs. Jam Master Jay was moving drugs. That's how the drug game go. Niggas get clipped in the drug game. It's dark. It's demonic. It's satanic. It's evil. Nipsey, yeah, he probably got ambushed and was innocently killed because he had a mall and businesses. He was trying to empower his community. But at the same time, Nipsey Hussle was North Star Slauson Gorilla Crip. He wasn't North Star Slauson Gorilla Crip. I ain't a real set. But he was Crip. You in a gang, you gang banging. Listen, man, if you want to change the world, you got to first change the conditions of yourself. And if you want to help others, take them out the hood. Don't go to the hood to see them and help them. Remove them from the hood and help them outside of the hood. The gods don't mingle with the mortals. Kings don't eat with the peasants. And the only time wise men hang around fools is when they educating them or enslaving them. Stay up like a cup. I holler back on my collar crack. We get up like sit-ups. I'm Oxygen. Uno. Iron. Black Adam 2 coming soon. I'm Oxygen. Stay tuned.